Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that today, right here, right now, you have the power to change your life? You see, we all have within us this incredible force, this energy, this untapped potential that is just waiting to be unleashed. And today, I'm going to show you how to do that. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let me ask you, are you living the life you want? Because the truth is, most people aren't. They're stuck in their own heads, consumed by their fears, overwhelmed by limiting beliefs. But guess what? That doesn't have to be your reality. I'm here to tell you that you have the power to rewrite your story, to reclaim your life, and to create the future you've always dreamed of. We all have moments in our lives when we feel stuck, uncertain, or overwhelmed by the challenges we face. In those moments, it's easy to forget that we possess the power to make a change. The first step in transforming your life is gaining awareness, really understanding where you are right now and making a conscious decision to take a different path. Think about where you are in your life at this moment. How do you feel about your circumstances? Are you satisfied with your job, your relationships, your health, or your financial situation? If you're content, that's great. But if you're not, the first thing you need to do is acknowledge that. It's essential to be honest with yourself. If you're not living the life you want, pretending that everything is fine only keeps you in a cycle of complacency. That's where awareness comes in. You need to take a step back and evaluate your reality with full transparency. This awareness doesn't just mean recognizing the areas of your life that need improvement. It's about understanding that you are in control of your future. Life isn't something that simply happens to you. It's something that you actively create. And by acknowledging where you are already taking the first step toward change. When you understand where you stand, you give yourself the clarity to make informed decisions about where you want to go. The second critical component of this step is making a decision. And not just any decision, but a decision that commits you to change. Often we talk about wanting a better life, a healthier body, a more fulfilling career, deeper relationships. But the truth is, most people only wish for those things. They never actually make the firm decision to go after them. They wait for the right moment, for the right time, for the perfect set of circumstances. But here's the reality. There will never be a perfect moment. If you want to change your life, you need to make a decision right now. No more waiting. No more thinking that something outside of you has to shift before you can make a move. It's about taking ownership of your future and deciding that you are worthy of success, happiness, and fulfillment, no matter the current situation. When you make that decision, it shifts your mindset. You stop being a passive observer of your life and become an active participant. When you commit to change, you begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Every small decision, from how you spend your time to the energy you bring to each interaction, begins to align with the vision of the life you want. Now, I want you to think about the power of a decision. It's easy to overlook, but a decision is a defining moment in your life. It creates momentum. It changes the trajectory of your life in ways that you may not fully understand at first. The simple act of deciding is the spark that ignites action. Once you commit to change, the universe begins to conspire to help you. Doors will open, people will enter your life, and resources will appear that you never thought possible. But none of that can happen until you take that first step and make a choice. And remember, this is your decision. No one can make it for you. Your partner can't make it, your friends can't make it, and neither can your boss or anyone else in your life. This is about you. This is about choosing to take control of your future. So I ask you, what is your decision today? Do you want to keep living the same life, or do you want to transform it? It's in your hands. The awareness that you are not where you want to be is the key to unlocking the door to change. And once you make the decision to step through that door, you'll find that the world opens up to you in ways you can't yet imagine. This moment is where your transformation begins. Decide to change now and take the first step toward creating the life you've always dreamed of. You have the power, and that power starts with awareness and the decision to take action. To change your life, you must first recognize the importance of raising your standards. So often we live our lives on autopilot, simply accepting the results we're getting, whether they're good or bad. We might be content with where we are, but deep down, we know that we're capable of more. We know that there's a higher version of ourselves waiting to be unlocked. The problem is that most of us settle for what's familiar and comfortable, even if it doesn't truly fulfill us. Think about it. Most people don't achieve extraordinary results because they've never truly demanded extraordinary effort from themselves. They become complacent with the status quo, thinking that a certain level of effort or ambition is good enough. But the truth is, you get what you tolerate. If you tolerate low performance, you'll receive low results. If you tolerate toxic relationships, you'll continue to attract negativity. If you tolerate poor health, you'll see your physical and mental well-being suffer. But when you raise your standards and decide that you won't tolerate anything less than your best, you begin to experience a shift in every area of your life. Raising your standards requires you to change your mindset. You must stop thinking that your current situation defines your potential. Too many people get stuck in a rut believing that where they are right now is where they'll always be. They let their past mistakes or circumstances define their future, which is one of the biggest traps you can fall into. To raise your standards, you must adopt a mindset that refuses to accept anything less than the best for yourself. You need to start viewing yourself as capable of achieving greatness. For example, if your health has never been a priority, raising your standards means you no longer accept being out of shape, tired, or unmotivated. You decide that your body is worth the investment of time and energy. You choose to fuel it with healthy foods, exercise regularly, and get enough rest. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you commit to raising your standards in your health, your body responds accordingly, and you begin to feel more alive, more energized, and more empowered. The same principle applies to your career, relationships, and personal growth. If you're not satisfied with where you are professionally, you can raise your standards by demanding more from your work ethic, seeking out new challenges, and positioning yourself for advancement. If your relationships aren't fulfilling, you need to raise your standards by surrounding yourself with people who support, uplift, and challenge you to be your best. And in terms of personal growth, you need to stop settling for mediocrity in how you think, how you feel, and how you interact with the world. The moment you demand more from yourself is the moment you begin to see the world shift around you. When you raise your standards, you're not just changing your actions, you're changing your identity. You're telling yourself that you are someone who values excellence. You are someone who refuses to settle for less than your true potential. And as you consistently act in alignment with this new identity, you begin to reshape the results you get in life. But here's the thing, raising your standards isn't easy. It's not about making a few surface level changes, it's about making a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. It requires courage to step out of your comfort zone, to do things that may feel difficult at first, but are necessary for your growth. And there will be times when you want to give up, when you'll be tempted to lower your standards to avoid discomfort. But this is when you must push through the resistance and remind yourself of the bigger picture. The process of raising your standards is about becoming the best version of yourself, no matter what. It's about living with intention and purpose, knowing that you are capable of achieving greatness and refusing to settle for anything less. So, ask yourself today, what are my standards and am I willing to raise them? When you choose to raise your standards, you begin to create the life you've always wanted. You begin to demand more from yourself, and in turn, the world starts to meet you at that level. The results may not come instantly, but they will come, and when they do, you'll realize that raising your standards was the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of. The concept of taking massive action is where the rubber meets the road in creating lasting change in your life. You can have all the knowledge, all the dreams, and all the plans in the world, but without action, nothing will change. It's easy to talk about your goals, to think about the life you want, but until you take action, you're just wishing. And wishing alone never brought anyone closer to their dreams. Massive action is about more than just small incremental steps. It's about making bold, committed moves that propel you forward with purpose and momentum. the kind of action that scares you a little bit, that pushes you outside your comfort zone. Because real growth happens when you step into the unknown, when you're willing to go beyond the familiar and take risks that others might shy away from. But here's the thing, taking action is not always easy. In fact, it's often difficult, uncomfortable, and full of uncertainty. Many people hesitate, procrastinate, or stay stuck because they are afraid of failure or of making mistakes. They overthink and overanalyze, trying to find the perfect plan or the perfect time to take that first step. But let me tell you something, perfection does not exist. The perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect situation, they are all illusions. What you need is to take action now. When you take massive action, you shift from passive thinking to active doing. Instead of just hoping things will change, you become the force that makes things happen. You stop waiting for opportunities to find you and start creating your own opportunities. You become relentless in your pursuit of your goals, no matter what obstacles may come your way. Now, massive action doesn't mean you have to move at a frantic pace or burn yourself out. It's about committing to consistent, deliberate action that aligns with your goals. It's about creating momentum in your life by continually taking steps toward what you want, even when things feel challenging or uncertain. Sometimes the most important thing is to simply keep moving forward, even if those steps are small. The key is to stay in motion, to refuse to let fear or doubt paralyze you. Taking massive action is also about embracing the idea of failure as a learning experience, not as something to be avoided at all costs. When you take bold action, failure becomes part of the process. In fact, the more you fail, the closer you are to succeeding. Failure is a teacher, not a barrier. Each time you fail, you gain new insights. You adjust. You cannot succeed without failing along the way. The key is not to let failure stop you, but to use it as fuel for future success. Another critical part of massive action is consistency. One big, powerful action is great, but it's the ongoing, consistent effort that builds the foundation for long-term success. It's easy to get excited about something at first, but maintaining that level of commitment over time is where most people fall short. This is where discipline comes in. You have to cultivate the discipline to keep going when motivation fades, when obstacles arise, or when you face setbacks. Consistency in action, no matter how small, will compound over time and lead to significant results. Sometimes people take action, but don't see immediate results and then give up. They start to believe that their efforts are futile and the momentum they've built starts to slow down. But the truth is, success doesn't always show up right away. It takes time, patience, and continued effort to see the results of your massive action. The key is to stay focused on your vision and trust that if you keep moving forward, the results will eventually catch up with you. Massive action also requires a mindset shift. Instead of viewing challenges as reasons to stop, see them as signs that you're on the right path. Challenges and obstacles will arise, but they are opportunities to grow, to get better, and to refine your approach. When you face these challenges with the mindset that you are learning and evolving, you become unstoppable. The power of massive action lies in its ability to build momentum. Once you start, you will gain confidence, learn from mistakes, and keep pushing forward with even greater energy and focus. Every step you take is one step closer to your goals, and before you know it, what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. A crucial element in creating lasting change in your life is cultivating an unshakable mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world, and it directly influences the way you respond to challenges, opportunities, and setbacks. If you want to transform your life, you need to adopt a mindset that is resilient, positive, and growth-oriented. This is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck in their circumstance. The truth is, your thoughts shape your reality. Everything you do and everything you become starts with how you think. If you constantly doubt your abilities, if you let fear and negative thoughts dictate your actions, then you'll always find yourself stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. On the other hand, when you develop a mindset that is focused on growth, possibilities, and solutions, you begin to see the world differently. You start to recognize opportunities in places where others only see challenges. An unshakable mindset isn't about denying the existence of obstacles or difficulties. It's about how you approach them. Everyone faces tough times. Everyone encounters moments of doubt, fear, or failure, but it's how you respond to these moments that defines your future. Instead of letting challenges defeat you, an unshakable mindset allows you to see them as opportunities for growth. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone that pushes you closer to your goals rather than something that holds you back. You'll learn to embrace setbacks not as signs that you should quit, but as feedback to refine your approach and grow stronger. One of the key aspects of an unshakable mindset is the belief that you have the power to shape your own destiny. This is often referred to as having a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort and perseverance. This is in contrast to a fixed mindset where you believe that your abilities are static and cannot be changed. People with a fixed mindset often shy away from challenges because they fear failure or feel they are not capable of succeeding. But those with a growth mindset welcome challenges, understanding that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but rather a part of the learning process. When you adopt a growth mindset, you begin to view every experience as a lesson. You understand that growth comes from stretching beyond your comfort zone. The more you push yourself, the more you learn and develop. This mindset allows you to stay motivated even when things aren't going as planned because you know that setbacks are simply temporary and part of the journey. Another key component of an unshakable mindset is the ability to manage your emotions. Life is full of ups and downs, and when you allow negative emotions such as frustration, anger, or fear to control you, you lose your sense of clarity and focus. However, when you develop emotional intelligence and learn to control your emotions, you are able to remain calm and focused even in the face of adversity. You stop reacting impulsively to challenges and instead respond thoughtfully and strategically. This emotional resilience enables you to stay committed to your goals regardless of the difficulties you encounter along the way. Self-belief plays a significant role in cultivating an unshakable mindset. If you don't believe in your own abilities, you will always hold yourself back. You must recognize that you have the power within you to overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, and create the life you desire. This self-belief doesn't come from arrogance or pride, but from knowing that you are capable of growing, learning, and adapting. It's about trusting in your own potential and having confidence in your ability to figure things out as you go. Positive self-talk is a powerful tool for strengthening your mindset. The way you talk to yourself has a profound impact on how you feel and act. If you constantly criticize yourself or focus on your weaknesses, you will undermine your confidence and limit your progress. On the other hand, when you use positive affirmations and reinforce empowering beliefs about yourself, you boost your confidence and increase your chances of success. Your inner dialogue shapes your outer reality, so choose to speak to yourself with encouragement, kindness, and belief in your own potential. Developing an unshakable mindset also requires letting go of past failures and not allowing them to define you. So often, people carry the weight of their past mistakes and it holds them back from moving forward. But your past is not your future. Each day is a new opportunity to begin again. When you let go of past failures and embrace a mindset of possibility, you free yourself from the chains of regret and open the door to future. Finally, an unshakable mindset means staying focused on your goals even when the path seems unclear or difficult. It's about having a long-term vision and not getting distracted by short-term setbacks or instant gratification. With an unshakable mindset, you have the perseverance to keep going even when things are tough. You remain committed to the bigger picture and trust that every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your ultimate vision. An unshakable mindset is not something that happens overnight. It's something you build over time through consistent practice, self-reflection, and a commitment to growth. But once you cultivate it, it becomes a powerful force that propels you forward in every area of your life. It empowers you to face challenges head-on, to believe in yourself even when others doubt you, and to take bold action toward your dreams. So start today, begin by shifting your mindset, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in creating lasting change. It is the foundation for personal growth and success. The moment you fully embrace responsibility for your actions, your choices, and even your circumstances, you unlock the power to change your future. It may sound simple, but this shift is profound, and it requires a deep understanding that you, and only you, are in control of your life. The first thing you need to recognize is that taking responsibility is not about blame. It's not about pointing the finger at yourself for past mistakes or feeling guilty about things that haven't gone the way you wanted. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about letting go of the victim mentality, the idea that life happens to you, that you are at the mercy of your circumstances, or that other people are to blame for your struggles. When you take full responsibility, you stop looking outside yourself for answers and start looking within. You recognize that no matter what has happened in your life, you have the power to respond to it and create a different outcome. One of the key aspects of taking responsibility is understanding that you are the architect of your own fate. Many people live their lives as though they are passengers, simply going along for the ride. They feel as though they are subject to the whims of external forces, whether it's their environment, their past, or the opinions of others. But the truth is, you are the driver of your life. The decisions you make today shape the reality you live in tomorrow. When you embrace this power, you take control of your destiny. This means that if you are not happy with certain aspects of your life, you are the one who can change them. You hold the pen to your own story. This mindset requires you to stop waiting for someone or something to fix your situation. Too often, people wait for external circumstances to improve before they make changes. They think, when I get that promotion, then I'll be happy. Or when my partner starts acting differently, then things will get better. But the truth is, waiting for someone else to change is a losing game. People, circumstances, and situations will rarely change in the way you hope. But you have the power to change your response to them. By taking responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and actions, you stop waiting for permission to live the life you want. You realize that your happiness, success, and fulfillment come from within, and you take the necessary steps to create the life you desire. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging that you are responsible for your own growth and progress. It's easy to blame other people or circumstances for where you are in life, but the moment you stop blaming others and start taking ownership of your growth, you open the door to real change. This means taking action even when it's difficult and committing to constant self-improvement. When you take responsibility for your life, you don't wait for the perfect opportunity or for someone to give you permission to take the next step. You understand that you are responsible for creating the opportunities you need. A powerful part of responsibility is accepting that you have control over how you respond to life's challenges. Life is unpredictable and things won't always go the way you plan. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and hardships. But how you choose to react to these challenges is entirely up to you. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming the circumstances for your struggles. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your attitude. This is incredibly empowering because it means you don't have to wait for the world to change in order to be successful or happy. You can adapt, learn, and grow in any situation. Moreover, taking responsibility for your life requires you to own both your successes and your failures. Too often people take credit for their wins but shy away from their mistakes. They look for excuses or blame external factors when things don't go well. But the truth is, your failures are just as important as your successes because they provide valuable lessons. When you take full responsibility, you understand that both your achievements and your setbacks are the results of your choices and that every experience is an opportunity for growth. By owning your failures, you learn from them and use them as stepping stones for future success. This mindset of responsibility also involves being accountable to yourself. It means setting high standards for your life and holding yourself accountable to those standards. Many people set goals, but they fail to take the necessary actions to achieve them. They make excuses, procrastinate, or become complacent. But when you take responsibility, You hold yourself accountable for following through on your commitment. You recognize that if you don't achieve something, it's not because of external factors, but because you didn't put in the necessary effort or take the right actions. Finally, taking responsibility is a commitment to living with integrity. It means being honest with yourself and others, even when it's uncomfortable. It means owning up to your mistakes and making amends when necessary. It's about living in alignment with your values and taking responsibility for the impact you have on those around you. When you live with integrity, you build trust in yourself and others, and you create an environment where growth and success are inevitable.